Okay.
No.
From the balmy shores of sunny Florida to the cold winds of Chicago and everywhere in between, you're watching the Red Wemette Show, live, coast to coast. And now, Chicago's talk of the town, Mr. Red Wemette.
And here we are today, folks. Today is September 8th, 2025. I am Red Wemette, and this is Joe Celozzi.
Where you always save more money. Number 2. Good morning. Good afternoon, Red. Thanks to everybody stopping in, shopping in, looking in. But today's going to be a great show, Red. I was just telling Red before this, we came up in his studio. He had a little studio. I come in the studio and we talk a little bit. And I said, I got to look in the mirror before I come on a show. I got to look at myself like an athlete, get pumped up. What am I going to say? Am I going to slow down, talk too fast, make sure there's proper lighting, and then it all goes away, Red. When the lights come on, I'm ready to go. Well,
it's showtime.
So, we talked about, this would be a great subject. Well, one is athletes, Chicago Stars, okay? Now, obviously, they're big names in Chicago, as we both know, but then the big ones are big names outside Chicago. From the Blackhawks, Stan Mikita, big name. My dad was one of the first auto dealers. This is 60s now to use athletes. Okay, I think he was one of the first.
Back then in the 60s, the ones that I remember are Bobby Hull, his brother Dennis Hull.
That's right.
They both drove Oldsmobiles. They bought them at in Cicero.
Well, that's right. They bought them, and I don't know if they had demos, but we're talking about guys that had demos for tickets, trading. So you're right, and I think, and also just to clarify it, is the facts is there's 2 people in Chicago, 2 athletes, from Michael Jordan to Walter Payton. Michael Jordan, when he got drafted, he went with Chevrolet, the manufacturer, $50,000 a year. It was a 4-year contract, and he got 2 cars a year, and he drove Chevys. S10 Blazer, for all you people remember. Yes, the Michael Jordan Blazer, right?
That was very much like the movie that Air. They promoted him. I mean, in that movie Air, it's about Air Jordan, Nike.
Yeah.
It's on. You can watch that on Amazon Prime for free. But it's like, I don't know. They promoted him. They got him. They guaranteed him. Nike did. They would get him to the manufacturers. No dealers.
That's right.
The actual people.
That's right. That's right. And one further than that. So, once the athletes worked locally, then you're right. Then the manufacturer used them, from Nike to Chevrolet. But you want to laugh. Michael Jordan, okay, after the 4 years, he got $200,000 a year, right? And he had the rest of his life there with the Bulls. He stayed with them because of his loyalty. He could have millions if he wanted to.
Because he gets millions of dollars a year.
That's right.
Percentage of everything that's Air Jordan.
That's right. That's right. So so then the deal was with Michael Jordan, he would go to a new dealership every year, pick it up. All right. 1 year was us, and I happened to be there. And he came up in his Mercedes, jumped 23, JMP, and picked up his van when his wife, Juanita, was pregnant with his daughter, Jasmine, I think. That's when he came up there. And the next year before that, I sponsored his camp in Elmhurst College, the Michael Jordan camp in the summer. Celozzi Olsen did. So I knew him, interacted, that way. So I never can get a Bulls. I tried to get Bull players. The closest I got was B.J. Armstrong, 1 ticket. Okay. The deal is they give you either 2 tickets or 4 tickets to every game, right? You get the club pass, you get the parking pass, and you get the tickets, right? And they get a demo. It's for 1 year, regardless if they get hurt or not, right? They get the car, and then it goes new. Every year it starts new. Okay, so in the late 60s, we had Stan Mikita, Pitt Martin, we had Stan Mikita, Pitt Martin, Pat Stapleton, Danny O'Shea, Jerry Korb, and one other player. And this is all in a year. So my dad had 10 tickets to every game. So it was 2. And I sat in Stan Mikita's spot with all the wives. I sat next to Tony Esposito, who had, I think, El Pimani. He drove an El Pimani car, Tony Esposito, and his wife, and Hall, was right, beautiful wives, right next to me, right? And Stan Mikita's wife did not go to the games, at least where I was at. And then from that on, I was at the Chicago Cubs, all right? And I had John Boston.
A lot of the hockey players, their wives didn't want to go.
That's right. That's right. And you know, I know. I sat in the section where all the wives sat. That's where I sat. So section aisle 15, 4 off the rail, and there was only maybe 3 wives there of the whole team. So you're right. Okay. And then they would go into the little club there during the intermission. But the best guys I had, well, okay, outside of the Blackhawks, and then we went to Dennis Savard, Doug Wilson, and Michel Goulet. I had them. Savard, I had the longest. Very nice. I'll tell you a story about him. He forgot me. I ran him years later. He didn't know who I was. So you want to laugh? So I had 6 Cub players driving cars. Lloyd McClendon, Jerome Walton, Rookie of the Year. I had Sean Bossy, Les Lancaster, Mike Bilecki, pitcher, 3 pitchers. Mike Bilecki was Sports Center afterwards. And great guy, number 21. I went to see Paul McCartney with him. The best. Gentleman. Very nice. Well, the year I had the tickets, nobody went to the games. I sat all in the back. Okay, there's Adam.
Yes.
I tell you.
Hey,
Adam.
hey. Sounds like Jack Brickhouse. Hey.
Yeah. Let me hear you. Listen to the crowd. You know what? I love Adam. And I called him last time. Adam, that cigarette trick, in God's name, I saw the people standing around you. I don't know how you do it. I mean, obviously there's no strings. That's amazing. I might pay just to fly you in and do a birthday party. So you just do the cigarette trick. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, I give you credit. I mean, you know what? Fantastic.
For a long time. He's got it on YouTube.
I saw them.
Yeah.
I saw street ones. Okay, so get back to that. So now I go to the Bears. Okay, I had 8 Bears about 3 years in a row. It starts with Donnell Wolford, Wendell Davis, Mark Bortz, Trace Armstrong.
Did you see this? What he said?
I have to do it for you. Oh, wow. See, I love Adam. Let me tell you about Adam. You know, I feel guilty because I'm sitting in his spot a little bit. I feel sometimes. I feel like I'm violating him in a way, because what you should do is have all 3 of us on one time. What you should do.
Tour right now. He's out doing a Vegas tour right now.
Well, Adam, ask Adam when he gets time. Hey, think about this, Red. Maybe we should have once a special. Maybe only one time have the 3 of us on here. That'd be fun. You know, the 3 of us at one time.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, I think that'd be interesting. So, anyways, getting back to that. So, if they get in a car accident, and they have, okay, I'm not going to mention names. Tim Reitman, he got an accident from the Bears, and I also had Donnell Wolford, and I had the worst guy was Curtis Enos back in 2000.
We'll do a 3.
Yeah, okay, great. Let's do it. Really, threesome. Let's have a threesome, guys. You know, I'll be down the bottom, and you 2 guys at top. How about that? Like the V, right? On the camera. Listen, I love Adam. You know, Adam, I swear to God, I felt guilty though when I first come on a few times. I felt a little nervous. I did. I'll be honest, because he had that seat for a long time. You 2 guys. That's how I watched you, right? I watched you. Then you guys were together, and it was interesting. You know, it's if somebody wants to hear about Chicago Mafia, mob, wise guys, and the history and the stories, you got to come and listen to you. I mean, you have to. I mean,
I don't think I'm as good at it, Joe, because I don't give all the details. I don't say in Chicago. I don't use Chicago. I don't tell people about different things. If I tell a story, it's usually about different people.
That's right.
Detail. I use the first name. I might
Right.
say Steve, I might say Tony, I might say Jimmy, but
Right.
sometimes I forget to use their names over and over. And I'm sure
Right.
people don't live or didn't live in the Chicagoland area or around where they heard the news. They don't
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about.
How did you know, Fred? How did you know? I was watching a show with you and Adam, and it was weird. And it came up, somebody called in and asked if Celozzi connected, right? And whatever. And they asked if I was related to Giancana. And you said, yeah, through marriage. How'd you know that?
Somebody told me about it a long time ago.
Yeah, it was interesting when you said that. You go, yes. And Adam goes, really? Really? And
I was talking to Joey Lombardo about going out to see your dad.
okay.
And he told me, he said, we know him, but he's not connected.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
he said he's a good friend. That's all.
Yeah. He's a friend of ours, not a, wait. How you say friend of mine, not a friend of ours? Right. That right, Red? That's how you do it.
That's the way they do it in the movie.
Yeah. But it didn't matter because the way that people perceive you, Red, outside of it, even though you're friends or associate, right away, oh, you're connected, you're in. You're not. I mean, it's not like you're in with them, but you're around them or whatever.
You're a friend.
Yeah.
We all take care of our friends.
For sure. And I've used them. I mean, I didn't use them, but they're willing to help you. I mean, it's amazing. Through the years, for sure. I mean, of course I would go to them. Speaking of threesome, smash the like. I like that. Oh, Rico Suave. I like the name too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you got some beauties here. So, and Red, the story when Eric Kumaro, who's from Chicago, high school sensation out here, quarterback, right? Went to college ball. They moved him to linebacker, right? Got drafted. I think he went to the Miami Dolphins, right? In Chicago. Got him the last few years. And Kevin Butler told me, because Kevin Butler drove a car for me, right? Butthead.
I remember that.
Right? And he said to me, Butler, he says to me, go ahead.
Remember when he went and played soccer?
Yeah.
He was playing soccer, and they said insurance will pay for it. He's got
well, he kicked the ball like a soccer ball.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah, he kicked straight sideways.
He could down from one end zone and kick the ball all the way over the uprights on the other side. I never
He told me in practice he did it with the wind. He said he did. He's done it. No pressure on him. But just
at Soldiers Field.
Yeah. And he's a funny guy. I was tight with him too. Jim McMahon. Sure.
Humor. They both have some humor. Both of those guys. Butler.
Yeah. Hey, and they do golf outings and charity with me. They'll go, is your daddy? They go like this. Is your daddy the one that owns these stores? I go, yeah. He goes, then you got a lot to lose, right? You got a lot. That's what they say. But I'm laughing because, Red, they're your friends. The best one was the guy Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid worked in the visiting room of the Bulls, right? In the visiting, 10 years in the visiting room. So when the visitors came there, he would give them their jerseys, whatever, clean the room out. When you saw basketball before the game, shooting, they'd be the kids getting the ball. We're on the court. They would get the ball and throw it back to them, right? They look like they're in jumpsuit. They wear like a jumpsuit, like a regular outfit. Who's this? Good afternoon. James, there's my idol right here. James is best. Let me tell you what. And so I had at one time probably I had dream team balls, championship balls with assistant coaches. And so one of the games I told him he had 8x10s and he would have let's say if the Bulls were playing Boston, he'd have Larry Bird. Now he'd have Larry Bird sign above his name and whoever was in the picture, right? So, and of course he was in the visiting room. So it was easy to get that side. So they don't sign when they lose. All right. When they win, they have to sit down. They sign 20 balls and they pass them behind them. So that's just for the Bulls organization for charity. All right. This time they lost, but I wanted those pictures. So he runs outside. Now he knew it'd be a little rough road. And he chases Jordan. He goes, I need these signed. He goes, nope, not doing it. He goes, come on. He goes, I'm too busy. I got to go. Come on, man. Sign these. And he goes, they're for the Celozzis. And he stopped. He turned around. He looked at him and goes, you don't know them. He goes, yes, I do. He goes, you don't know them. He goes, I know the son. He goes, no. He goes, first of all, they have too much money, and you will be hanging with them like that, like he's not worth it. He goes, no. He goes, all right, fine, give me the pictures. Now, I get these pictures, and I never want to personalize ever. And it says Celozzi, spelled with S. And S, it was so spelled wrong. He goes, now give it to him. And I go, it's not even close to my name. Celsse, Celozzi, some stupid ass. He goes, he didn't believe me, so he wanted to make sure you got him. I go, at least get the name spelled right. He goes, I didn't know you know how to spell your name. He called me a broke ass, that I don't know you people, that I'm lying. So to make sure that you get him, I go, wow, these are worth. I mean, I would never sell them, but that's what he said to him, right? He goes, you don't know them. But and the worst guy I had was Dano. Was it one of the Bulls? Yeah, I give him a car, and I get a call from the lineman. Mark Bortz calls me from training camp. He goes, you're not gonna believe this. He said, you know, your boy just got an S10 Blazer. He goes, he's not driving it. He's got a BMW. He goes, his girlfriend's driving your demo. I go, that's a no-no. The rule is one dealer, right? 4 tickets, parking pass, stadium club pass, right? And I go, you got to be kidding. He goes, I'm positive. He's had the car for 2 weeks. Dealer plates on it. Lober. I go, watch this. I call him on the phone. He doesn't call me. He has to call me back because I left the message.
Lober Motors?
Yeah. And he goes like,
by me.
right. He goes like this, Red. He goes like, now I had to be delicate. I said, hey, buddy, how you doing? I said, thanks for the 4 tickets. I got them in the sheet. You know, the sheet, you got to rip them off. Then a big thing, a yellow envelope, right? And the whole season's in there. And you have to rip them. You know, they're all connected, right? And he goes, I go, thanks for the tickets. He goes, no problem. And the parking pass. I said, we have a problem. He goes, what's that? I said, you know the rules. I said, it's one charity event, autograph signing, and 1 car. You don't get to drive 2. He said, Richard Dent drove my car. He came to your dad, tried, and was getting another demo. I said, Richard Dent tried. He came to my dad and said, did my son tell you 2 cars? He said, no, just 1. He's about to get another demo. My dad told him no, to give the tickets back, right? That's our deal. So I said, don't throw that in there. That did nothing to do with it, and he didn't get 2 cars. And he goes, well, that's not right. And I go, here's what's not right. You haven't made the papers in a long time. The papers, the sports section, but you will now, tomorrow. And he goes, F you, to me on the phone. I said, that's okay. You're right. He says, come and get the tickets. Give me my tickets back, come pick up the car. So I went the next day, and I sent somebody. Now, he doesn't know who told me, right? He doesn't know who told me. And I canceled the deal. Because you got to be careful for that. Somebody calls in, got a Cadillac, Infiniti, Acura, right? And they throw my little shitbox fucking, Now, at the Cadillac store, Jim McMahon had a Latte, and I had, that was it. He had a Latte. And Savard, I think, might have had a Cadillac one. But it's usually Chevrolet or Fords, right? But yeah, so they always try to work you. And they're your best friends when you're doing it. Now, I had the autograph signing with everybody there. I had like 25 guys there signing. It was a jungle there. Trust me. And that's when Sally D, right? He had a suit. He's there with his grandson. And my dad said, here, it waved to me. And there's Sally D with the little kid. He said, hey, Joe. So I don't really know Sally D. Shook my hand. He says, can you get the kid? So here's what I did, Red. I took his grandson. I was behind there was a table, right? And they're all sitting in line. So I tapped the guy's shoulders and they looked at me, here, can you sign this kid? And I went down the aisle for him. And I got him all signed. So and that was it. And Sally D thanked me, whatever. So whatever. So that was that night. And then if you're fans want to look it up, Dave Lupke is his name. Lupke. He was the world arm wrestling champion in the world, right? I met him. Now I didn't give him a demo. I don't know why I did. I said, if anybody beats him that night, they get a Corvette. Now I had a referee and the arm wrestling table, right? And I advertised it. Swear to God. Now, all those guys were there, right? Yeah, right. Nobody beat him, but he was there. And then after autograph signing, Red, in my dad's private room, I had cocktails and whatever was there. And they're all there, like a little party room. And everybody was there for a minute. And then that was it. But they don't hang with you, Richard Dent got there 1 minute before signing. 1 minute before signing. Richard Dent. And then I was gonna get what's his name? He was on the practice squad. Tim. What's the receiver?
No, Joe.
Good. Yeah. What do you think about Karen, who grabbed the ball from the kid at the Phillies game last week? You know, I saw that. That's it. You know what? Grab the ball. That to me was I don't know. Yeah.
Not right.
Not right. No. There's no respect anymore, Red. There's not. They talk about the wise guys. The wise guys always had respect. You know, I think so.
I remember the day when people wouldn't say anything if somebody would have gone, give me that ball back. What?
Right. But I tell you one thing. Listen, Red, there was a time when I was supposed to bring minestrone soup to Orlando's house. It's true story. And he said, get it at this restaurant, be there at 6 o'clock.
Minestrone.
Yeah, minestrone. Well, guess what? I got him minestrone soup at a different restaurant. And I was half hour late. Would you know he didn't talk to me for 6 months? Swear to God, he was done with me. This was I was 24 years old. He was done with me. I saw him at the showroom. He turned his head like this, went out the side door. Yep. He says, I don't like that character flaw.
Agree about food, Joe. Out in Palos Park, out in that area.
Yeah.
Jimmy Dima had an Italian restaurant where he had a pizza joint. But
Yeah.
he had Italian beef there and everything else.
Yeah.
And he calls me up. This is early in the 70s. He calls me up and he says, Red, I got a problem. Nobody's coming in to help me. We're snowed in. I think it was snowfall of 78, 79, somewhere around there. And it was snowed in. And he said, can you come out and give me a hand? And I had a 4-wheel drive vehicle. So I went out there and I get out there and he's got orders for pizzas. Everybody can't get out. So they're at home. But he was taking orders. He said, just see if they got exact change. If they don't, you keep the difference or whatever.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I'm delivering for maybe an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, something like that. And he's just making these things constantly and answering the phone while he's doing it and everything else. So I come in, I'm a little bit hungry. I saw the Italian beef. And so I said, And I went over and I started making a sandwich. He stopped whatever he was doing. And he came over and he said, what do you think you're doing? I said, making a sandwich. What does it look like I'm doing? He said, you don't do that. You don't do that when you're here. And I said, okay. I put it all down, walked away. I was mad. So all night I worked maybe from 8 o'clock at night to like 2 a.m.
Oh, shit.
And he took in like, I don't know, $11,000-$12,000.
Whoa.
I mean, he made up dough twice for pizzas, you know. So at the end of it, when it was all over, he comes over and he gives me $200. He gives me 2 $100 bills for the night. And I said, I was expecting nothing. I was expecting to do it as a favor.
Yeah.
And I said, what's the deal about the beef? You give me 2 $100 bills, but when I want to eat a sandwich, you don't let me eat it? And he said, that's business. That's total business. He said, I count all that. He says, that's the way I count it all.
That's true, right? That's right.
Table.
That's true. Yeah. Sam Carlisi told me, he said, you know, that Orlando, he said he gave him 24 cannolis. He said he built his house. So we were always at his house while they were building it. And I swept the deal on my day off. And Bartlett, and he goes, you know that 24 cannolis I gave him? He ate them all in the middle of the night. He got up every hour and ate them. By the morning came, all gone. They're all gone. When he called Orlando, when he was taking money for protection from the agent, he says, you know, you ate all the cannolis. He said, now you're taking money for protection. You're not going to give the guy anything. Now he's our guy, you and Celozzi. Take him, he says. You know, sure. Luckily.
George
Was the
Wilson.
guy friends with a baseball player, Tony Pyatt, who owned him. That's interesting. I guess they drove a car there too. I think they drove one of his cars. Yeah. Was that Western Avenue? Tony Pyatt. Yeah, that's old guy. Yeah, that's old school, right? I think that's old. That's old school. Oh, hold on. There we go. Tony Pyatt. He's old as my dad.
I never heard of them.
Yeah. But you know what? Everybody got into demos, Red. For a while after my dad was doing it, you can advertise them, right? You you advertise it, that you have them. They do promote you, and some of them bought cars from us. Mark Bortz bought a car from his mother, a Cadillac, and they do buy. Now Dennis Savard, he was for years with us, right? I mean, I got great guy, right? So after about let's just say 10 years went by, we were done with our agreement. Maybe 12 years, and I'm at a restaurant, and he's there. And I think I told the story. I walked up to him. I said, Dennis. He goes, looks at me. He goes, I'm sorry. I go, do you remember me? He goes, no, buddy. No. And here's me, Red. I go, okay. And I know he felt bad. Okay. And I said, let me give you a hint. I said, car dealer. He goes, car dealer. He said, the one that you had a demo from. Oh, Nick, how you doing? Not Nick, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe. He runs out to his car. He gives me passes for the celebrity golf outing that was out here that year. With all the, he gave me. I don't want. I said, listen, it's okay. You know, I don't feel bad. It's all right. You know, what am I supposed to do? I thought he was my best friend. Not. Joe did mention the Bulls player who only gave the one ticket. That was B.J. Armstrong. Yeah, that guy. What, you know what? The Bulls tickets were hot though back then. But I'll tell you one thing though. Michael Jordan went every year to the Christmas party for Chevrolet. He did go there, and they had gambling there, right? All the guys would get fun gambling.
Gambled.
Yeah, and Maury Edelson would go there, and Maury said they had cars get nice, no big deal. And each dealer got an autographed jersey from Michael Jordan. We had one, yeah. We got autograph from him, and he gave Maury it.
Something from him.
Yeah. Well, I guess, listen, Maury had a box, but I told you the article in the, it was in LA, talking about Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant had Diane Carroll and Jack Nicholson in the leather seats on the floor. He said all the games. He says, but Michael Jordan was lucky to get Nick Celozzi and Maury Edelson at his games. And I was shocked. They could Google it. I was shocked that was in there. Now, I could tell you this. I don't remember my dad ever going to a game, but
No.
Maury did. Maury did. But to say my dad and Maury would every game and compare them to Jack Nicholson, Diane Carroll, I thought that was a stretch. You know, I didn't understand that. But that was in the paper.
I used to get a kick out of it when they would, at some time, the cameras would go into the audience and you'd see
Yeah.
here, and they would really want to let people know. I mean, they got good coverage that way.
Sure. I mean, when they did the boxes, you know, that the Bulls made, you know this, the Bulls made more money the year that Michael Jordan retired, that they tore up the team, more money the next 5 years than they did in the previous years, because all the contests were canceled, but they sold out all the seats and all the what they call the boxes were all sold for 5-year leases, right? They got rid of $50 million in salaries and all sold, and they signed the contract for the NBA did for the advertising, right? And guess what? They killed it.
Oh yeah.
The Bulls, you had a bottom line, right? Bottom line.
What happened when he bought the team?
Reinsdorf?
No, Michael Jordan, when he bought that one team. Was it out in
Oh,
Arizona?
no, Charlotte, right?
Charlotte, North Carolina? Right. by
Yeah,
the
he did. Yeah. He bought the team. He sold it. They sold it. They sold the team. He got what, $1 billion.
Yeah, but he didn't make that much money on that team.
All his money were investors. They came up with 160 million originally.
But other people's money.
Yeah, of course. They put together investment. Did you know that Reinsdorf and Einhorn were the minority owners of that of the Bulls and the Sox? Minority now. Listen. And did you know that at the time they paid only $16 million back then? Bulls for the Bulls team. That nobody was going to the game. It was only 3,000 fans were going to the game. It was bad, right? I went to the game when they drafted Quinn Daly, right? I was dating Lovable. I fell asleep on the floor. I was on the floor watching. I actually fell asleep. I was in those Michael Jackson tights. I was wearing that Michael Jackson outfit they were selling them at the store. I don't know what I was thinking of with the short, with the boots. I'm thinking to myself, how bad was that?
Take care, Kraut. That's Bill
Uh,
Kirschmeyer.
well, okay, good. We're gonna have to get going. Well, you have to watch this later. But now getting back to demos, there are not too many anymore because I don't think the dealers feel there's enough advertising from it anymore. It's not. They don't have that same. Do you sell cars with them? Yes and no. It's all it is the marketing. Get your name out there. That's all it is.
Let's say
You know?
since COVID, how many
Right.
teams are actually? How many sports are packed? Do they pack any ball games?
No.
Baseball
No.
games, baseball game,
No.
football game. I don't think they're packing anything, and hockey is down.
No. You know why, Red? Okay, here's how you're a smart guy. Generation to generation. The parents of the kids now, they don't go to games like let's say in the old days, your parent took you a game. They want to be home watching the game. Stream it. They're not going to games anymore. Maybe playoffs they are, but they're not going to the games like they used to anymore, right? It's too expensive.
Dad, I'm busy.
Yeah, that's right. They're going to have to change. My personal opinion, I think they're going to have to change the sporting in general. I don't think it's going to be as big as it once was. There's too many other things to have fun, right?
What if you tell your son, come on, we're going to the NASCAR races?
Yeah, no.
No?
Well, that's interesting. When NASCAR got blew up, remember, for a while? Not anymore. It's not as big as it once was.
Your son.
Oh.
Let's go.
I don't think he would go.
Or let's go to a football game.
They would go, yeah.
They go to a football game.
Yeah, probably. But it wasn't like before. If you had tickets to a game, it could take anybody. It was like gold. Everybody wanted to go. But I think it's changed. I think you're right about one thing. It's too much of a hassle to get in a car, to park. I think the mindset, the generation nowadays don't have the same. I don't think baseball. Okay, if they're winning, that's one thing, right? Okay, that's one thing. I don't know. That's an interesting. I think my personal opinion, not in our lifetime, Red, but let's say 40 years from now, I think sports in general it'd be a whole different animal. The perception of it. I think it's going to be not as. I think as far as people going to games, and I don't know. I think it's just changing.
It's really dead now. People are not watching it like they used to.
That's true too.
I used to watch the NFL until they put the NFL ticket out and made me pay for every damn game.
That's right.
Now I won't watch them, period. That's it.
Do you think, Red, because of mediocrity, do you think because you don't have, remember, let's think about it, Red, in the last 50 years, you always had a athlete or a team that dominated. That was good for the game, right? For the way, that was good. Do you think when it came, everybody became mediocre? Like there was nobody really was that hurt? No, I think so.
I watched, I was surprised in like the 90s when the Seahawks won. I like football. And
okay.
I was surprised when the Eagles did what they did. I was also surprised at the three-peat that they kept trying for with San Francisco and Miami.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I liked football. It depended. Green Bay, always watch the Cheeseheads game.
Don't you remember boxing was the biggest thing in the world? Boxing.
Oh yeah.
Remember boxing championships? They were like bigger than Super Bowls. Remember what happened to boxing? And after Ali left, it sort of gone down, right? It did.
Come back with George Foreman.
Yeah. Well, it was corrupt. Boxing was corrupt. You know that for years.
Everything's corrupt.
Well, yeah, but let's be honest. I know for a fact.
Tell that to McMahon when that what was that guy from Wisconsin that picked him up and threw him down and broke his shoulder?
Oh yeah. I know you're talking about the politician.
$1,000 and fired.
Yeah.
Somebody would have done what they did to him to me.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about finding him $100,000 to fire him. I go after. That's it.
Well, it'd be a bigger fight. Yeah.
Bigger fight.
Yeah.
It said, there was a hit out on him. Care if he killed him, he turned him upside down, threw him on the shoulder.
Yeah. I think the perception of sports in general, they're making a lot of money, these guys. And I don't think, I just think it's changed, Red. It's changed. I think soccer's gotten big. Well, the United States is coming in now. But I don't think, maybe because I'm getting older, I don't see any kind of, maybe we don't have winners in this town, in Chicago.
It's
We-
not.
we-
It's not just that. It's things have changed. I can't. You need a scorecard every month. I just found out that the Raiders are part of Las Vegas. I didn't know that the Raiders
Oh.
left LA.
Oh my.
I remember some of the teams that the way they were, and I looked them bouncing all around with when they came out with the AFC that did it. But I looked at what was it? The St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah.
That was the original St. Louis. And then they went, where'd they go after the Cardinals?
Were the Bears called Cardinals? Was it Bears? No.
That was a Chicago Cardinals.
Chicago, right.
George Hallis had two teams, and they said, no, you can't do that. So he said, okay, I'll sell one to St. Louis.
That's right. Yeah, right.
They lost St. Louis and went someplace else. All these teams, they moved around.
That hurt them.
The Baltimore Colts. Where'd they go? Indianapolis. Are they still in Indianapolis? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. What about the Washington? And then you had New York, and then you had you're right, in football and baseball too. Same thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's
sports. And I just was looking at the names of the arenas. Are places they play, stadiums?
Yeah. Do you know what they get a year? Do you know what they've like United Center? I think that's what they make a year advertising. They have to pay. I don't know if it's true. They get like somebody said 10 million a year to have their name on the building. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All that. Yeah, like the White Sox, the Sox Park or whatever, they pay big money to have their name on there.
Be Comiskey Park. What is it? US Cellular now?
Yeah. I wonder what they pay a year. Probably in the millions too. Sure. And you laugh because but I think in general, not in our lifetime, eventually the whole industry has to change. I think it's going to change into something. I don't know if there's too many sports. It's the generations coming up. They're playing them sports and they're not into it like they used to.
I predict that they're not going to be paying the people to play.
Oh, you think that?
From people not watching?
Yeah, that's right. Right.
And eventually it's going to get down to where it was back in the 50s.
And the old way. Remember the old way? One guy. There
was a leather helmet.
Well, Red, do you remember how it went to payroll? We had 1-2 guys making money, everybody else not. That's how it used to be in every sports team, right? You had your star and a couple guys, sort of, and then nobody made anything. And now it's different. You got to pay. A lot of people are making money on the team. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just the money. Look what the contracts.
The 90s are gone. Even the 2000s, they're gone.
Yeah, you're right.
Like it was.
And it's just like the car industry, that's changed since internet came. Everything's changed.
What managers?
What's that?
Zone managers.
Yeah.
You don't have no zone managers anymore.
Oh, you remember that zone manager name? Where'd you get that?
Whoa. Zone manager. Take care of it.
Red, that's old school zone manager. I haven't heard that in years. Wow, I'll be watching you, Red. That's interesting.
They got rid of that, and all of a sudden, you were dealing directly with the guy. If you couldn't deal with him, forget it, the dealer. If you couldn't deal with the dealer, you couldn't call Detroit. You could call anybody.
That's right.
You had to deal with the dealer.
And Red, it's funny you said zone manager, and I don't know if I told you this. This is a fact. I was with the third in line for Ford in Detroit back in 2002 or 3. And we were talking, right? And he told me something, and just off the cuff. And it's interesting what he said. He said, you know what the perception of the car industry, what's going to happen? Not in our lifetime. He said, but what their mindset is, and I hope people are listening to this because this is something that's so interesting. And he said, this is the way the car industry is heading. He said, some of the Chicago Cardinals, he's right. Look at this. Yeah, there you go. Wow. Chris.
1920 to 1959, St. Louis. 1960 to 1987, Phoenix. 1988 to 1993, Arizona. 1994 is the same way, present. The Cardinals have been known throughout history, Red. Yeah, they have been.
That's true. But you know what the guy told me? Very good, Chris. Let me tell you, we got to have her on the payroll. Red, have her be our factual counter. But you know what the guy told me, and it makes sense because I've heard some grumblings about a year ago. He said this to me. He said, "Now I'm not supposed to be telling you this, but I'm going to give you what our eyesight is for the next 50 years." He said, "Eventually, we want to do away with the dealers. Here's what our perception is. We don't need dealers anymore. We want to put up service centers, one every 30 miles, with a little showroom and to work on cars, and then to order cars. You'll order the car off the internet. We'll make it ship to that service center. You go pick it up. If your car gets serviced, it's there. There'll be a few models there, or if you want a demo, it's at the service centers, and that's it." He said,
they're having them at different centers, and
"Yeah,
now you can call, buy it sight unseen,
right. Okay, there you go.
To you on a flatbed.
Yeah, that's right.
When it gets there, if you don't like it, they take it back.
Right, like Carvana. Okay, my question to you is, right, now this was told me back then, and guess what? It's happening now, but this is what's going to eventually happen. So when he said we needed car dealers back in the 30s and 40s to sell our cars, there was no technology. Well, now we don't have to give all the money away. It's going to be certain models. Here's the price, what they have now, and you trade the car. It's going to be done at service centers. No more car dealers. And that's eventually going to happen, Red. The problem is they can't get the car dealers out. It's not that easy to close them up, unless they were like they did back when it was bankruptcy, when Obama was in. They got rid of a lot of. There was too many dealers. They it used to be 5 miles as a crow flies. Then it was 10. You can't have the same product 10 miles. You have to be from the other dealer. So even if you want to open up,
pardon me for my ignorance. What happened to Celozzi Chevrolet?
Okay, what happened was the hospital bought the property, and my dad and Maury for 30-something years. It's just you know what? My dad was in his 70s. Yeah, they were going to move it to Villa Park, and he sold the castle. Could they have moved together? Sure. Was there any hard? No, everything was fine. But 35 years of marriage, and it's a good question. Two different ideas. Maury had bought my dad out of the other stores. My dad bought some new stores, and no big deal. But that's what happened. And also, too, just so you know, they didn't want to be number one dealer anymore. Maury to be number one dealer is a lot of risk. You have to pump, and Maury didn't want that. You have to carry 2,000 cars. You have to have 80 salespeople, 70, 80 salespeople. You have to have 30, 40 mechanics, right? My dad's pumping in 70 to 100,000 a month advertising. That's a grind, okay?
Yeah, and this guy, Big Tuna's right. We don't trust car dealers anymore.
Well, I don't blame you. And you know what?
Do you go in and trust a car dealer?
No, all new cars. Yeah, it's true. The average auto 7. Yeah, that's true. And you know what? You're right. And you guess what happened because you don't trust car dealers? You're buying different away now.
Yes,
you're buying
a finance manager that belongs there, and he'll charge for his services. They had a couple points on for that.
Right.
Closing costs. I mean, it's not like
Well, and let's face it, Red. There's too many product here. Too many manufacturers in the United States. There's too many. Look at Chevrolet, GM. They got rid of Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Saturn. They got rid of and some other joint ventures, right? They got rid of 35% of all their dealers. At one time, there was 5,500 Chevy dealerships in the United States. 5,500 at one time.
The only reason GM bought Packard was because they had Cadillac, and they didn't want Packard competing with Cadillac. So
really?
They put it out of business. A lot of things they bought put out of business.
Their biggest mind fuck was they create Saturn. Saturn was a joint venture with import, right? And that was to go against the imports, right? To get the market share. Guess what happened? It took away from their market share. They didn't affect them. They affected themselves, the pie.
Look at Oldsmobile. It's gone.
Gone. Pontiac Gold's gone. I said that was stupid. They should got rid of Buick. They kept Buick, and they should have gave Cadillac a couple of Buick cars, right? Yeah. The models. And I think GM's down to total maybe 8,000, maybe 7,000 dealers in the United States, new car dealers. I'm talking about Chevy, Cadillac, Buick, franchises. But a lot of them are dualed up now. It's Cadillac, GMC, Buick now. A lot of them, three under one roof. The manufacturer used to be separate. but now it's 3 under one roof, and they still have too many dealers. A couple of former, that's true. You know, it's funny you say that, Ron. Jim Elway in Denver had 9 stores.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan had Nissan stores in North Carolina. There's like
Chevrolet.
there's a bunch of you're right. There's a bunch of athletes. You guys all know Scottie Pippen Dodge. Remember Chicago?
Right.
But you know the deal with that was he didn't own it. They just used his name, and he got so much per car. So many, yeah, but same difference. Scottie Pippen Dodge. You know, but yeah, a lot of them have car dealers.
Did Dennis
What's
Rodman
that?
endorse anything?
Good question.
Other than himself?
You know what? That's a good question. I don't think so. You know, I think Red in the last 20 years, there less and less dealers are. They don't want I mean, it doesn't cost you nothing. They get a demo, big deal. You get some marketing, but it doesn't work.
No.
It doesn't work. You know, it's just doesn't work anymore. So
Joe, what you're driving, but I'm driving. I got it in 04, but I'm driving an 03 Lincoln town car.
yeah,
I've only got 113,000 miles on it.
it's a boat.
Oh yeah, but I love it. It's
Yeah.
a boat. You can ride. You get on the highway, bang! I'll be up by you in what 5 hours. I could.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but it's like I would never go to another dealer. And the way I got that car was a real joke too. I mean, I'll tell you about it if you want to hear it.
I want to hear it. Yeah, let me hear you.
I was living in Palm Beach at the time, and I went to a dealer right next door. I had a farm. I lived on the island, but I also had a farm, and I put a well in on the farm, and I took a water sample, and I had to get it tested, and then get the report to the county before the well was safe to drink.
Makes
So
sense.
I went to get it tested, and I was in the dealership. It was on anyway, right next door to me was a Lincoln dealership. And I had bought a new car in a long time. I mean, it'd been many years. And I sold my other, I like Lincolns. I sold it. But in between time, I was driving around some used car when I sold it, because the guy paid me like more than I paid for the car. He wanted it that bad. He was in Canada.
It was clean.
Oh yeah, it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
My cars are, even this one. But anyway, I go next door. They said it's going to be about 45 minutes. So I go next door and to the car dealer, and I'm hanging out there, and this guy walks up to me, kind of reserved, gray-haired, older gentleman. I'm calling him older, but he was younger than I was at the time. And he looked at me and said, "Can I help you?" And I said, "No, I'm just looking." Okay, no pressure. Walked away, and I was looking at. They just started with the big, what they call them. It wasn't a Suburban, but it was a Lincoln Navigator.
Navigator.
They just started with those. And I was looking at it and saying, didn't like it though. Way too big. All of a sudden, this guy comes around, and there's a beautiful showroom car I'm looking at, and he said, I can make you a special deal on that car. And I said, really? And he said, yeah. We have a factory incentive going right now. $10,000 off for a factory incentive.
Sure.
And I said, oh, wow. And I said, nah, I'm really not looking for one anyway. And I said, no, I didn't say one. I said a new car. So he says, well, right over here, I got an 03. And the 04s were out. And he said, I got an 03. This thing was maxed. It had everything on it. And he said, I can make you a real special deal. We got a dealer incentive. We got this incentive. We got an AARP. I said, I don't belong there. Here, I'll make you a member of AARP. I'll sign you up. So by the time we get through,
wow,
a window sticker price of $52,000 some $100 was down to $8,000.
Whoa.
And I'm going to trade in the shit box that I got and come out. And I even went out and drove it. And then all of a sudden, at the last minute, I said, no. And he said, why? What's the matter now? And I said, well, my old car has a full-size tire for a spare. this one's got this little,
Donut.
donut, and I don't like it. And he said, I'll get you a big one. He goes outside, he gets a tire, brings it back on a wheel, and it's on a black rim instead of the mag rims I have.
Wow.
So, and I said, I don't want that. It doesn't look like the other ones. I'd have to, change it, whatever.
Right.
I start walking out again. I must have walked out like 9 or 10 times. He kept changing. Finally, we agree on a deal. I'm down to $7,200.
Whoa.
And I'm getting more than I could ever ask for. And we signed the deal. He says, I got to bring this in and get it okayed by my manager. And he goes in and he says, we can't okay the deal. And I said, bye. I started walking out. And he said, wait a minute.
Wow.
The manager comes out and he talks to me. And he said, don't you want a counter? And I said, no. I stopped in here anyway. I wasn't going to buy a car.
Yeah.
This guy talked me into buying a car. So the long and short is I wound up buying the car. They got angry. Do you know what I put that on? I had a GM credit card that said GM, or I think it was GM Visa.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Black card.
You got additional money off too using that card. Probably
5% cash back on it.
Sure.
So on everything $1,000. So I gave him the card and said, here, put it on my credit card. The guy flipped out. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, if you come back here with a check, you can have. And I said, I don't want to play your rules. So they wound up charging it on my credit card.
Oh my God.
Finance manager was really angry at me. But they charged me because when they applied for my license plates and everything,
yeah,
I got a check back in the mail for like maybe $200. Later on, I had to have some work done there. The engine hydrolocked. And so I brought it in there. And they said it was going to be like $6,000 to replace the engine.
Sure.
And my insurance company, I had insurance. And my insurance company said, you got zero deductible. Bring it over to the Chevrolet dealer. We'll do it over here. He was waiting over there because of the hurricane. This was in 04.
Oh, Katrina.
No, it was. I forget which one this was, but it was one of the hurricanes. And I hydrolocked the engine. So eventually I talked to him. I wanted it done at the Ford dealership. And they agreed to do it for the price that my guy said, because he went and picked up the engine. He went to Alabama and picked up the engine for me.
Boy, you got them good. Boy.
It's a police interceptor.
Oh my God. Sure.
It's got power like you can't imagine. I'll never get into a car like this.
No.
You can't. So I go in there and it's all done. Like I said, it was 100% deductible. And they said, oh, well, you have to pay some kind of fee or something like that. It was something like that.
Yeah, that's right. That's about right. Yeah. That makes sense.
I reach in the glove compartment and there's a check that I forgot about from the dealership. And it says, not good after 90 days. And so I brought it up to their cashier. And I was going to pay the $50, but it was like $170, something like that. And I said, now you owe me money. Oh, no, the check's no good anymore. And I said, you got the check? I said, you got a guarantee on this work? Let me call the insurance company. So I called him. Thank goodness we had cell phones then. So I called the insurance company. Guy called them on the phone while I was talking to him. He said, don't worry about it. They took my check. They chased me out of that place. They told me never to come back. Never to come back. But I actually bought that Lincoln. It's still out there. It's an 03.
That guy needed counseling after you. You probably drove that guy out of his mind.
The salesman was okay. It was the manager that managed the place. And the finance manager went nuts because when he got the credit card, he said, oh, we don't do that.
Oh, my God.
I got 5% cash back. So 5 times 7 times 35. I got about $350 back.
Oh my God. We had a charge when people use their American Express to buy a car. It happened once in a while. We had to charge them an extra 3%. Yeah. Right? To use the card. So if the guy bought a Corvette on his American Express, so it was like an extra, I don't know, well, a few $100 up there. Yeah, the fee. American Express charges the vendor, right?
No, yeah, I know. Well, they were getting charged. They didn't like that because I was getting paid my 5% cash back. So
Yeah,
they,
we had charged them. We put it in the deal, to get it back. We knew right away.
I told them I used to be a Visa MasterCard.
You know, and you know.
So I told them it was on the door. Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Diners Club, everything was on the door. So when I had that argument with, I told him, I said, I'll have them yank it. I'll have them yank your, and I guess they used it a lot for repairs. You know,
Yeah.
or maybe leasing or so, whatever. I don't know, but they gave it to me anyway.
Sure. I can only imagine. You know, they talk about the car business get bad name. People hate the car business. Like what a bad reputation it had for decades, as you know. You know, and I don't know why. And of course, because salesmen took advantage of people for sure, and there was fraud for sure. You know that.
I remember the name Geo, but I don't remember what they looked like.
Yeah, Geo Chevrolet, the small import. There was tiny little cars. Geo, the Prism, the Metro, the Storm. Or there were, we had them. That was back in the 80s. Chevrolet came out with it was almost like another franchise, Red, in a way. It had its own Geo. It had a little truck. So it had like 4 cars, 4 different vehicles. It was like a franchise. We had a separate facility. We had a separate area where the Geo was on, and they had its run. You know, we had a big run there with the Geo. You know, with that product. It just the car business in general. It changed, and you know, you had dealings with my dad before, and I remember, Big Mo, and it gave it a bad name. Used car dealers gave it a bad name with rolling down the
Western Avenue. Go down Western Avenue in Chicago.
Horrible, right? And it's
when you go.
Yeah. It's and what happened? Why do you think CarMax? Why do you think CarMax was the first manufacturer back in early 90s when they came in, one price, no haggling. They did it. You know what they did about salespeople? They got guaranteed so much a car, no gross. They didn't want a typical car salesman anymore. They wanted just an order taker. They want to get that people's feeling out of there, right? The hustle guy hustling you.
Even today, when I look at something, I look at the Carfax report.
Yeah, that's true. That was in the 80s when it came out, Carfax. Yeah, we had to pay $5 a report. And guess what? That straightened out too, Red. You know, that did straighten everybody out. The miles, because of Joseph.
Joe, your age. Chevy Cavalier.
Yeah. I started with a Chevy Malibu. That was my first car, Malibu. Yep.
Mine was a 57 Chevy, my first car.
Yeah. What was that? $1,500 to the car, brand new?
No, it was less than 1,000. I bought it back in 1965.
Oh, they were cheap. Yeah, Chevy was the entry level car for General Motors back then. Yeah,
it's a 55, and I bought it. It's 10 years old. But
what was the first car you drove? It was 16. What did they have back then when you drove?
The first car I drove.
Yeah. What year did you get your license? In the 50s, right?
High school, I learned to drive. I was at driver's ed in high school, and I learned to drive on a 64 Ford.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And then we went to a 65 Ford, and then I got my driver's license. When I got my driver's license, I bought a 57 Chevy.
Yeah, we did the program at the high school. My dad had about 10 Chevrolets, little Vegas or Novas, and for driver's ed. And we let them use the car, and then their first car they drove with that car, hopefully they buy it from you. You know, young kid.
A lot of people did.
Yeah, that was a big thing for us. My old man was innovative when it came to that. You know, marketing. It
was clever.
He was the first.
Still is.
He was.
Yes.
You know, that guy there. He was the first courtesy bus. He had anything starting out. He was the beginner of everything. Like it's amazing what that guy did, far and above anybody else, and it showed in the sales. I mean, here's a Chevy dealership. Couldn't even get to it. And number 1 Illinois, number 1 United States. Come on, you know. And Chevrolet's not the greatest product. Let's be honest, Red. It's not Toyota. You know, it's good, but like, I don't know how Chevy's doing now, but I don't know. I think it's like I think they should get rid of Chevrolet. Kept Pontiac. That's my thing.
Look at all the ones that are discontinued. All the cars since I've been around that are discontinued.
Yeah.
The first one I can think of is Edsel, 58 Edsel.
Hudson's.
Edsel.
Yeah.
Ford Edsel came out in 58.
How was that car?
Dog. A real dog.
Was it?
All kinds of problems on it. But then
Was it big?
the one that I did like was the Ford retractables. They had the Ford retractables.
Yeah.
And they were nice cars, but guess what? They didn't last long. And the little ones, Chevy had Corvair with the rear engine.
Yeah. That problem. Do you know that the Pinto? Do you know that people know this, but that Ford, you would know this. Outside of the whole market back there in the late '70s, interest rates being 19%, Ford was a month away from bankruptcy. I don't know if you knew that. Back then.
Pinto almost bankrupted them. There were so many accidents. There was a class action suit because there was
100%.
some
100%.
problem where they used to catch fire when they crashed.
It was the protection of the gas tank. There was not that thing around it where people died. They crashed into it and their lives were lost, right?
Yes.
And it almost put them out. And I told you about, do you remember the tire problem with Ford Explorers? Do you remember that in the late 90s? Did you know, I think it was Bridgestone or Firestone, that people died? They knew there was a problem.
Yeah,
Ford knew.
Doing back then, and Chevy was doing it too. They were getting 2-ply tires with a 4-ply rating, and they were putting them on dealer cars.
That's right.
So
that's right.
The car it only had a 2-ply tire, but they looked like they were great.
But it wasn't strong enough for the weight of the vehicle, right? And that was the first thing. Did you know that the owner of it was a Japanese ownership? He flew into Ford in Detroit. This is a fact. And all these lawsuits, people died. This was late 90s. He came in, Ford legal department, all there to find how much it's going to cost. He left a check for $1 billion. He said, clear it all up. Wow. And flew out. They didn't argue. Here's the money, all these 9 different debts, and get rid of it all. And they did, and make it go away. Because the tire responsible for the manufacturer. And the problem is Ford knew, like you just said with the ply, they knew it was a problem, right? They did a recall. It was too late.
Well, they have a bean counters. They call them a bean counter. And he looks at the risk assessment.
Recall is red a recall. You know what that means? Your people know what a recall means? A recall is when they're production of the car, right, at the factory, the guy says there could be a problem with this. We can't stop production. We're going to put a recall when it goes out. People come in and we'll change whatever part, right? That's what a recall is. Well,
and that happens a lot.
Yeah, it happens a lot. But what happened on these things caused death. Recall. See, they should stop production because they lost lives. That is the problem. When a recall on something that's really bad, they should delay making the car. But that's money. So that's the problem. So they're very careful about that kind of stuff anymore. About
dealers that sold them.
Well, that's a good question. It's funny you said that because the dealers were named in lawsuits. Some of them, they did name the dealer, the manufacturer, everybody, but the dealer the manufacturer took liability over it. So yeah, they never got pulled in. No, they're just the same.
Liability. If the dealer didn't take liability over the manufacturer over the dealer, then the dealer would just quit and go with somebody else.
That's right. And you don't see. What happened was, you ever see like the imports? They did away with the recalls because they made their cars so right. They didn't have problems. Like I told you at GM, I stock in cars. Red. I'd find tools in the when I got cars delivered. I would open the door. I hear something rattle. It was between the doors. A mechanic would leave his tool in there or a bottle in between the door panels. There would be Pontiac emblem in the dash. Like, it was crazy. Like the steering wheel would be a Sunbird in a Nova. It was like a different, you can see there was no quality control.
I got one for you, Joe. This is a true story, folks. You might like it.
Yeah.
I bought a 1978 Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham Elegance.
Whoa.
I didn't like it. I gave it to my dad. My dad drove it around. He didn't like it either because it had a rattle in it. And we couldn't find where the rattle is. Since I gave him the car for free, he didn't pay anything for it. I forget how much it was, 13,000, 15,000, something like that. But
Yeah.
because I gave it to him for free, he brought it into a dealer. And he said, there's something wrong with it. It wasn't a year old. He said, there's something wrong. And they started taking it apart. And they gave him a loaner. They gave him a loaning vehicle. So
Sure.
he didn't care how long it took. They finally, after about 2 or 3 weeks, they finally found out what it was. And the reason I gave him the car was because I didn't like that rental. Do you know what it was, Joe? You're going to laugh about this one. They took everything apart on that thing. Door panels, rocker panels, everything. You know where the frame is underneath?
Sure.
It's boxed in.
Sure.
They cut it open. And there was a big nut in there, like a 3-inch nut inside.
Sure.
2.5
Not surprised. Not surprised.
There was a tag that it had a wire around it. It was somebody wrapped it around it, and it said, "I hope you had as much trouble finding this as I did putting it
Oh
here."
my God. Oh my God.
All the way from Detroit.
I'm not surprised. And you know why? What year was that?
That was 1978.
Yeah, that's when they had the union strike back then. The big strike. Yeah, they did. That was back then. Now it makes sense. That guy at the factory is fucking pissed off.
Oh, he was.
Oh my God. What's the odds for that to happen? I found beer cans. I found a screwdriver. It was so. Remember the Cimarron, the Cadillac Cimarron?
Oh, that was a huge nut, and it used to rattle around in there.
Oh my God. So that's what happened to the American cars right there. There's a perfect example of the quality control. They let it go. They did, for sure. Because I found we had a Cimarron, we had a Cavalier come in. It had Cimarron steering wheel. Cimarron for the Cadillac Cimarron, because it was a Cavalier, basically, a Cimarron was, right? And it had Cimarron interior. Yes, I swear to God, Red. And look at this. It didn't even make sense.
A Union Gremlin.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember that? Remember those commercials with the sub sandwich in the back? Sitting down there. Yeah. Well, it's like I said, the quality control, maybe nowadays it's great. Don't get me wrong. And cars last forever now compared to the old days. The cars would rust out before the engines would go. That was imports, I mean.
But that was
now,
important too, because my car has no rust on it. I'm down here.
Right.
And I keep it. I don't keep it in the garage, but I keep it in a carport.
Yeah. Cover.
Yeah. So
somebody mentioned about the price of cars. Let's be honest, it's ridiculous. The prices.
Oh yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, Brad.
When you think, especially down here, you can buy a small home for $70,000 down here.
Yeah.
So I bought an extra home for like.
The problem you have is they finance longer now. That's why they can buy a car. People can finance it for 8 years instead of 3 years. So everything is prolonged, right?
It's important 2 years. It was
What's
2
that?
years. Was it? I remember when it was 2 years.
When you bought, right.
And then it became 3 years, and I said, "Boy, that's a long 36 payments."
I said the same thing in the 70s. I go 3 years. Oh my God!
Payments. And then I went after the 48 payments. It went to 5 years, and I said, 60 payments.
How about 84 months? How about 84 months, Red?
I never saw that.
You can purchase for 84 months now. 84 months.
And I never financed one either. I always paid cash. If I didn't have the money, if I couldn't afford it to pay cash for it, I couldn't afford it.
Red, what was mortgage on a house back then? 15 years? Was that long back in the day when houses were?
They had 29 or 30-year mortgages back in.
Yeah, but when it first started, was it 20? That was long. It was 20, right? Back in the day, back in the 70s. Yeah, now it's what?
A lot of people like those 15-year mortgages.
No, but now it's 30s average, right? 35 is average now.
Nah.
No.
Say 30 years.
Yeah. So it's up 5 years. So even that they extended it. Everything's extended. You know, the whole perception, you know, keep your car. If you buy a Chevy, drive a Chevy till you die, right? Your family buys it. It's like religion. Not anymore. There's no loyalty, you
Whatever
know?
happened to Zolly? Z Frank. Zolly.
Yeah, Zolly died. Well, his son, he took over. And
See James.
yeah, his son, my dad, Zolly was big back then, obviously. He was right there top with us.
I
They were
remember.
back and forth. Yeah, Zolly. How about Hanley Dawson? Remember him?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Cadillac. That was big too.
Cadillac. Are you kidding? That's where the Cardinal got all his Cadillacs.
Yeah, and you know his sons are Patrick Cadillac. That's his sons in Schaumburg. Patrick.
Hanley Dawson was on. What do you call it? Wasn't he on?
Yeah, that's right. He was downtown.
Yeah.
He was the biggest. And then his sons opened up Patrick Cadillac and Patrick all in Schaumburg back in the 70s. Hanley. I was on a Cadillac trip with Hanley. He was old. He was like 80-some years old. I went on a trip with him. Him and his 40-year-old secretary. You know. Yeah. Another story. But you know, I'm laughing.
Comment, I'm sure.
You know, it's funny because, hey, Red, you know, I know it's not changed something. How come everybody's doing podcast shows now? I noticed from politicians, everybody's doing podcasts now. I noticed. Like,
nobody's watching TV.
Is that what it is?
Nobody's watching TV.
Yeah, I don't anymore. I don't watch TV anymore.
I don't either.
You know, you started me when I saw you on here. You got me. I don't know who this guy.
I got rid of my years ago.
That's it. Do you think eventually TV's going to go, Red? Eventually, mainstream TV?
Oh, news, definitely news. But I've got streaming channels that I watch on TV. Like
Right.
I watch my Amazon. I don't watch Netflix because I'm cheap. When I first got Netflix, it was like $7 and some cents for Netflix.
What is it now?
Then it went up
20?
to something. Then it went up to 10 something. Then it went up to 12 something. I didn't complain. When it went to 15 something, I called them and they said, "Oh, well, we're going up next week to 17." That's
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah. Now it's like
when I want something, I'll watch it, and I'll just call and cancel it. Then I don't want because I may not watch 10 things all year.
Right. Do you watch movies like that too, Red? You don't go to movie theaters anymore, do you?
No, I stopped.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a beautiful theater here, but it's in Pier Park. But it's like it's one of those. It's where the latest ones come out. It's a big theater. It's got sound. It's got everything in it.
It's got the plus. It's got the seats. They serve food.
Do you know what it costs to go in there? The tickets are $30 to go in. Don't buy anything at the concession stand and don't try and bring anything in.
Yeah. You know how that works, right? The first weekend the shows come in, the theater only gets 90% go to the producers. They get 10%. That's it. And then it goes every 3 days. It changes. It goes like from 95 to 5, then 90 to 10, 80. And then by 4 weeks, by the end of the 4 weeks, you're at 90 the other way. That's how it goes. The money goes to I didn't know that. Did you know that, Red?
Rod Rose says, Bean and Pea farmers do not have talk shows. They have podcasts.
Oh, that's wild. You know.
Thank you, Ron.
Red, we should do a show, Red, on the lives, like a reality show on podcasting. Like, you know, look at Obama. Obama's wife's got a podcast now. They got a podcast show. It's not doing very well. His podcast show. Your show does better than him. I know. They give them reviews. Maybe they should watch you, Red. Get some pointers. That wasn't what I'm trying to get at. That wasn't even a given because a name that people are gonna fucking sign up.
Yeah.
You know. Well, it's flooded now. I guess there's thousands now. So I don't know who the guys that got it originally are it. So the people 15 years ago was it when it started 2011 something like that when they started. How long you been on podcast, Red?
Well, as a podcast, only about 4 years. But before that, I have a thing on my channel where it's called Bedtime Stories. I started that in 2016. I used to go sit in front of the camera and say, "Hi, folks."
That's how I found you. That's how I found you. Those bedtimes, it was so disturbing. I'm watching, who's this guy on the couch? Now it's like Mr. Rogers coming to my house. You sit down and like you know everybody. Okay, here's our story, and I'm watching you. I'm entranced like this. This fucking guy. and I know the stories you're saying, so I know the people, right? And it was interesting. And I'm with this guy, but it was the way you did it. It was like Mr. Rogers walking in, hanging up his jacket. You know, he puts his shoes on, and now he's talking to you. You come in, you sit on a chair, the rocking chair, and you're telling a story. It's night, so you know everybody's relaxed. Dark. I thought that was interesting. Who does that? Nobody.
I was the first guy to do it.
Yeah, you're the pioneer of the bedtime story, and it was interesting because you know I don't know how many I watched of yours, but that's how I got started with you. Like, who is this fucking guy with these bedtime stories? I swear to God. And my daughter goes one time, what's with this bedtime story? So I see at night, I go, this guy read, he wrote a book and everything, mafia stuff, you know.
I did it so I could advertise my book. I would
Let
tell
me tell you what,
and then it might be in the book, it might not be in the book.
it's a great, I'm going to tell you what.
At that time, I had my dog running around. She'd be wanting to get the camera.
No, but the way you did it, it was so, I don't want to say disturbing. It was so like out of the box. You know what I mean? Like,
It was unique. It was casual. I wasn't
Yeah.
nervous. I wasn't
it didn't make sense.
one take. I never did more than one take. That was it.
Right. I believe it. It did make sense because as I'm watching this, I go, who is this fucking guy? Every time, come on in, join me. Here, sit down, like you're in your living room, right? And you're sitting down, right?
And now, say, hi, folks.
That's right. And my daughter goes, she used to come to my room. Who's this bedtime story? I hear every watch this guy all the time. I go, I don't know. She goes, what is it? He's telling a bedtime story about this and that. And I'm going, she didn't understand it. I go, I looked at Marissa, I can't tell you why. He's so off the cuff here. He doesn't make sense, this guy. He's sitting down, he's telling truth. You know, I know the story, some of the stories. It's interesting, but I don't know why I'm watching them. Right? I know a bedtime story, but it worked. See? It worked. You know, well, you're inviting people in to your home, basically what you're doing. Your bed, almost. Your bedtime story. But you got adults watching a bedtime.
This is what your dad's got to do.
What's that?
When he's
bedtime story.
Sell some books. I'll tell you what, that's the best way.
Well, yeah, when we get close to that, yeah. Well, I haven't talked to him in a day or two. Sometimes I get nervous.
North and didn't talk to your dad.
What's that?
You went all the way up north. Did a turn around to talk to your dad?
Well, my son got sick. Okay, he wasn't feeling good, and I said, let's go back. He had the flu. He's throwing up. I can't take this. You know, and he's got a mouth on him too. He's got a mouth. He's mouthy. You know, and I don't want to hurt him. You know, I'm not into abuse. And I'm stuck in a car next to him, and I'm a clean freak, right? So I can't handle a mess in my car. I got a brand new car, right? And he's throwing up, and I go, please, I try to pull over. I mean, I don't want to throw up on my, you know. And so we stopped at the gas station. Get out of the car. He wouldn't get out. I had to wash the floor mat. You know, and I did. I did a great job. Trust me. I was a porter. So I'm wiping everything down. We get back in, and then we're driving. I'm hungry. Oh, just hungry.
You so just
right. So we go to rest area, and I'm there. He goes, well, can we get a hotel? And I go, listen, we got a hotel. What, 4 a.m? We're checking a hotel to leave at 10. We're here anyways. So I stopped at Indiana. The beautiful. They got a rest area, and coming out of Chicago, going back this way. And it looks like it's a fun park. It looks all light up at night, like they have rides, like a carnival almost, it looks like. And you pull in there and you got the big area you go in and vending and you could shower. I don't know, you got big bathrooms and, you know, yeah, it's not the best place to hang, but I'm not going to be there long, you know. And so I slept in the car with him.
Truck stop.
Yeah, right. But then he used my card and I saw the vending machine, what he bought. Oh my God. I said, dude, you spent $30. $4 for this item. Where are they? I go, where are they at? I don't see it. I go, a bag of potato chips this big for fucking $4? I said, I don't care, but I mean, at least where's my card at? Here it is. So it wasn't the greatest. I'm trying to get it. It wasn't the greatest time, but I do some things there. I came back, but I'm going to go back on the 23rd, and I go once or twice a month. And but yeah, I'm going to go alone because it's the best way to go alone. I don't know. You know what it is?
Together?
What's that?
Are you guys living together?
Yeah, I'm downstairs, the first floor, they're upstairs. And You know, I finally got them. The one thing about me is I'm not a psychiatrist, but they're all ready to be on their own. So they all got full-time jobs now, and that's why I can come and go now, right? Remember, I raised them all myself. There was no mother, so I was their mother and father. So they've had some, since they were babies, they only had me around. So I give them a little break, in a way. So now they're becoming men.
I didn't meet your daughter. I only met Joe.
Yeah. My daughter, she's here with a boyfriend. I got my son Nick, his car salesman, doing great. Joey works at a hotel. Fine. So now I am free. Okay. And I come and go, and so I'm happier now. And that's why this podcast to me is like, it's like what's it called? It's like I don't know.
Escape.
There you go. Brilliant show. Well, thanks. Listen, I always tell you this before I go. You got the best people because you trapped them with the bedtime story. So that hooked like me. You got me hooked with the bedtime. So now you got them in the right. It's like meeting a woman falling in love for the right reasons, right? So I really came in for the right reasons. So it's the psychology of it. I mean, to this day I still watch them. I can't believe I laugh every time I watch. I can't believe this guy. Hey, folks,
I really do.
You sit down and you tell the story. And who does that? I mean, and the way you did it, like, I don't know where you got that idea, but that was brilliant. That's how that came to you. How did it come to you?
I came up with it on my own.
How? One day you just came to your head? I'm going to do that.
Think about it. I had the camera.
Yeah.
And I set it up on a tripod for a friend of mine who was having a scouting thing for his kid where they would make a campfire. And so it recorded for like 4 hours.
Okay.
The whole event recorded. When I was done, I put the card out, the SD card, and I put it on the computer, digitalized it, and gave it to him on a flash drive. And when I did that, I said, okay, what am I going to do with the camera now? And I put it on a tripod in the living room. And I said, let me see what this looks like. Too dark. So I went and got a light that had it's like a trouble light. It's got a big cone on it.
Yeah.
Of aluminum. And I turned that on. Not bright enough. I put a spotlight in there. Gorgeous. I set it up where it's hanging on the side. It's pointed. I went over, took a test shoot. It was okay. So all of a sudden I said, it's going to work. And later on that evening, when everything was gone, everybody was gone from here. I got all set. I knew what I was going to talk about. And I turned on the light and I turned on the camera, and I'd walk over in front of the camera, sit down and say, hi, folks, this is Red Wemette with a bedtime story.
Just like that.
That was it.
It wasn't planned.
No. I think I said my first one, if there's anything you'd like to see, tell me about it. Because I used to post them in the Outfit Past and Present news articles.
Yeah. That's brilliant. I mean, listen, it got me hooked. I swear to God, it got me hooked. I didn't know. I don't know how I found on there, and I see this, and you this Red Web bedtime. Like, who the fuck is this guy? And I put it on, and next thing you know, I'm watching 10 shows, and I saw how long, and then you wrote the book and everything, and I go, this is the fucking guy. And then I did a little research, and then I was watching. My daughter hears that your voice of yours. This is Red. Hey, folks. She goes, what is this? I says, Mr. Rogers coming into his house. He goes, no, it isn't. I go, it's like that. I go, this guy's telling bedtime stories. She goes, what is bedtime story? And it was unique.
I thought about Fraser Thomas.
Okay.
Fraser Thomas and his bedtime stories.
Oh, remember him? Yeah, that was, wow.
I wonder if anybody's going to remember this. Nobody did. Nobody mentioned it.
But
Scott said it right here. Red was good at setting up cameras. Yeah, I set up some for the FBI.
Oh, he laughs about it too. But I never asked you that, but now I know how it happened and your origin from that. It's just something. It's just in all the years I've been around and listened to everything, I've never seen that before. So you're the pioneer of that. I mean, who the fuck talked about bedtime story about that? I mean, but that's a good hook.
I see young kids, like girls or guys, and they'll be
Yeah.
sitting in their bed in their bedroom, and they'll be holding
Yeah.
up their phone,
Yeah.
and they'll be doing something on YouTube. And I look
Like
at that.
that.
It's square like you because it's on a phone. But
Yeah.
they'll use their own cell phone, and they'll be in the bedroom where you can see the bed. Behind it, you see
Right. The bedtime. You're the godfather of the bedtime story. I mean, you're the if you want to be truthful, I should call the godfather of bedtime stories. Period. Because you're the pioneer of the bedtime story. But really,
It's all, as always, another good show, Red. Nice seeing you and Joe. Look forward to seeing you guys again. You coming back next week?
yeah, I'm coming back next week because I think, yeah, but we had this bedtime story. I'm so caught up in it that it wasn't. Let's before I say goodbye. It wasn't for that bedtime story, I wouldn't be here because that's bottom line, Red. It's bottom line.
That
I
was
mean,
huh?
it's okay. I'm going to call you the godfather of bedtime story. I mean, that's fact. That's it. Well, hey, that tells a lot about you. Well, I appreciate you having me on, and again, and I want to give away. I got some my dad has. I want to give it away next week to one of your best people, signed by my dad, because I had to get a couple signed for other people because they emailed me. So I'm going to get an extra one for you, Red, and we can send it out to somebody. My dad, a picture of my dad, something old that he's had is signed from him. So I got an extra one. I want to tell you. So whoever watches the show next week, how you want to give it away, but I'll
picture of Nick Celozzi.
I'll show it, and then you just how you want to give it away as a for that show at the end of the show, whatever it is you think about it, and we'll give it away. Signed by my dad, So I think it's 1970.
Think about a question. It has to do with Chicago, your family, something.
Yeah.
We'll figure
There
it
you
out.
go. Yeah, there you go. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. How long are the shows supposed to be, Red? Are they an hour and a half? What is normally your show?
60 minutes. This one's an hour and a half.
Yeah, I had a great time though. Right? It's been a great time. I love it here.
I can't stop.
So I'm considered the underboss of the bedtime story. Yeah, there you go. I'm the underboss of the bedtime story. What you should do is have me sit there like a little doll with my head. Hi, folks. This is Red and my little son, bedtime story Joe. Have me like in a little thing sit like we could pro right next to you. Can you have your arm around me? Here's my little. I have a little head and I'm talking. Oh, that's funny. All right, guys.
Okay, folks.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Peace out. Thank you.
The combination of the videotapes and Wemette's testimony resulted in the conviction of 2 men on extortion charges. One of them was Frank Schweiz, known in syndicate circles as the German, a feared mob terrorist and a suspect in a number of gangland murders.
He was described to me by other outfit individuals as the most feared hitman. And as he said to me, my reputation precedes me, son.